Hello everyone, I'm Meltdown Boy, and today we're going to be talking about Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a game I'm very happy to say that it's my favourite game of all time. Whenever people ask what my favourite game is, it's always been Death Stranding since the game came out in 2019, a day after my birthday. That will become more relevant later, but why is it my favourite game is a thing that I would like to bring out into the world and talk about and share my sort of journey loving this game and everything it's brought me. So let's begin. When I first saw the game, it was all those trailers, adverts, and before I'd even played the game, I thought it was weird and kooky, and I remember seeing some of the trailers and being like, oh, what's this? Without knowing that later on it would be my favourite game of all time. So to think of that now is so interesting to me. I remember seeing that first trailer from, I think it was like an E3, of like Norman Reedus holding the baby. And just being like, what is this game? What could this game possibly be about? But I think it was around Halloween of 2019 that I really got into the idea of Hideo Kojima's Silent Hills, specifically PT, and just getting absorbed in I made my own little like mini horror film with my college, very PT inspired, and I think that sort of a session was perfectly timed with when I would start to get into Death Stranding. I suppose it was sort of a precursor into Death Stranding would be about all sort of my intrigue into Hideo Kojima as a creator. I didn't grow up playing the Metal Gear Solid games, although I've played them now. But I think as a kid I definitely would have loved the hell out of them. I'm thankful for Hideo Kojima in making such great art. But then the game comes out, and again, a day after my birthday, so I'd just been celebrating my birthday, and then I see a video from Jacksepticeye of Death Stranding, and wouldn't you know, and I remember just being so, I think that's the moment I can discern as being the moment I fell in love with Death Stranding, was the moment after Sam falls off his bike, and it just goes straight into gameplay, and you just see the title of the song, who it's by, and then Icelandic scenery is, I think, the summary of why I love Death Stranding so much, and that feeling that it gives me, which no game has ever given me, but just to have this image on my screen in a YouTube video that gave me a feeling of I need to play this game is something that I've never experienced since. I think the closest to that, but not nearly as close as maybe Demon's Souls, specifically the Demon's Souls remake, but I think there's never been a feeling like that where I need to play this game quite like Death Stranding. I didn't have enough money at the time so to get it, because it had just been my birthday and my parents already got me the game I had asked for before then. I can't remember what it was now. So in order to save up money to get the game, I would tell them that I was getting the bus when they'd pay me for my bus travel, and then I would just walk to college, and I would play the music in my headphones, and interestingly enough have sort of a Death Stranding travel experience before even playing the game. And I would just sort of think about, oh, it's going to be so cool kind of walking in the rain. And then I think around the 23rd of November I finally got the ability to play the game, because I had saved up enough money. Press buy, press download. The download took basically a day, so I was sitting there going, what do I do? It wasn't until like nighttime that I was able to play it, but even before that I remember calling my grandma, saying to her like, I've just got this game, and telling her weird facts about. She probably didn't understand what I was saying, let's be honest. And then downloads, and I get into it, and I fall in even more in love with the game. The ability to walk around, build ladders, see the music pop up. That's probably my favorite bits of the game. I remember being so excited every time a new song popped up. I'd like, hold your horses, everyone who was in the room, and which was mostly my brother. When the game really tries to test you early on, I kind of think of it as like a litmus test of like, if you enjoyed this difficulty incline, quite literally, and still want to play the game, then you're going to love the rest of this game. I was already sold before that, obviously. But on the incline up, they give you like so much cargo to hold, so much BTs to walk around, and I failed it like once or twice. I kept on getting caught by the BTs and my BB having autotoxemia, and then when I finally pushed through and got all the way over the mountain, I was graced with the amazing view of Port Knot City, and Asylums for the Feeling started playing, and if only I could see that moment again for the first time, honestly. If I could wipe my brain and be able to see that for the first time, I think I would love to experience that for the first time again. And yeah, that's the first sort of maybe week of me playing, and that bled into multiple months of me playing the game, because I kind of liken it to a book that you're so invested in that you just never want it to finish, and I think that was what happened with Death Stranding. Is I think that was in November that I started it, and I finished it maybe August of 2020. Naturally, it helped me through lockdown, but I would just do deliveries because they said in the game this is the last delivery, so I was like, whoa, I need to just enjoy the game as much as possible before the end. Little did I know it was an hour and maybe more, a couple hours of the ending is just long. To my absolute enjoyment. I loved it. It was so cool. Getting to see the ending with BB's theme playing, and then getting to learn the truth about Clifford Unger. I got chills both times that song played. Getting to hear I'll Keep Coming during one of the many credit scenes that are in the game. I remember being worried that what happens after the game, because obviously there's a spoiler heavy reason why you wouldn't be able to play after the end of the story, and then the game has such a smart way of just having it take place a couple weeks before the ending of the game, and I think that's fascinating. So I was quite giddy, let's say, at that realization, and then forward into playing it at uni. It helped me a lot through sort of my missing of home that I had. I felt very homesick going to uni for the first time, so I think the game really helped me, especially since I bought a physical copy of the game. I bought it digitally before, but having a physical copy not only feels amazing to have like a physical summary of my favorite game, but also the ability to play it at university on the university PS4 that they happen to have. And I remember going in, and the security guy would usually have like kicked anyone out of that common area by like midnight, but because he seemed to like me and loved hearing me talk about Death Stranding and what it meant to me, he let me stay well into the early morning playing the game. And I think that's really just again, the game's about connections, so having that connection with this random man that I haven't seen since, and since leaving uni. I even reconnected with him in my final year. Just went, hello, how's it going? What a lovely moment. I played it in second year and showed people it and got people into it. I got my friend into it as well, and I met Troy Baker. I said to Troy Baker, oh, like, I love Death Stranding, it's my favourite game. And then he goes like, oh man, it was such a privilege to work on the game. Hopefully we get to do another one. At this point I'm like, they haven't announced anything. So it's interesting he would say that, so I think that was just a lovely fun interaction, a very swell human being. Another little reason why I love Death Stranding is this guy. When I first played the game, I just fell in love with BB holding around a little fella, as I would like to say. Just going on an adventure with just a adorable baby, and experiencing the world, and to the point where for a while, I wanted an ability to hold my own sort of BB, and so I printed off a paper version and would carry that around for a long while, until eventually at uni getting this fella, and I carry around BB quite often actually. I drink coffee in front of BB quite often. I think my love for BB and the nature of Death Stranding and the music all culminates into one huge crush on the game, I suppose. As weird as it sounds, I think, like I said from the top, it's been love at first sight, which has never happened to me before in any medium. When people ask me what my favourite movie is, I could not tell you, but I could tell you immediately if someone asked me what my favourite game was. And I cherish that with all my heart. And it's been a part of my life for such a long time now. Forward into the release of the second game, I remember being around a friend's house, and they were having fun playing Mario Kart or something, and I legitimately moved away from the gathering to look at the trailer for Death Stranding 2, because I was just so excited and surprised by its reveal at the Game Awards. So happy that there was going to be a sequel. And then I just kept up to date with any and all trailers that were in the game, continued playing it, tried to max out all my stuff in the first game, connect the roads, connect all the settlements, and just enjoy the first game before moving on to the second game. The second game is wonderful. I think it matches a lot of ways that I love Death Stranding, and getting to see new music like Magnolian in the second game, and so many different songs and different artists that I would never have heard. I think everyone did a terrific job in the soundtrack, any of the artists that were included, and the main score is incredible, and to the point where recently I went to go see the Death Stranding concert in London, the Strands of Harmony tour. I did get merch, but getting to see the tribute to, Low Roar and the tragic loss of their lead singer. Check them out, please. The Low Roar are an incredible band, and deserve all the praise that they've gotten and fame they've gotten from Death Stranding, and deserve it even before Death Stranding came into the picture. But it was so fun to be in a room full of Death Stranding fans. I got to meet a guy that looked like Hideo Kojima, and I went up to him and I went, "Can I get a picture of you and me doing the absolute cinema pose?" Which was incredible. There was a guy that was dressed as Higgs. Everyone was just bustling. It was incredible. There seemed to be so much appreciation for the game naturally at its own concert. And I got to see the original singer for BB's theme be played just in the concert. The original lady came out who did the vocals and sung the whole thing, and I got to see it, and I got chills, genuine chills. I think it's probably tied the amount I cheered for 21 Pilots, and I cheered in this concert for when she came on stage, and it was just a magical moment. I just left the experience feeling so proud to be a fan, so ready to jump back into that world. So such a good appreciation. The second game's ending made me cry. It was beautiful. So many beautiful landscapes, so many beautiful areas in both games. So many beautiful landscapes, and I love the game so much that I have a tattoo of I don't know if you can see it. I'll have a picture on the screen of a BT, specifically a BT from the art book that you can get, of one of the alternative designs that they had for a BT early on. I just love art books and the different ways some things in video games can turn out, and I love this design of the BT, so I just wanted to incorporate it into my tattoo, and I think I'll always be appreciative of Death Stranding as a result. And thank you very much for joining me on this journey of nostalgia and love of this game that I hope you try it. I hope, if you haven't played the game already, I've kept spoilers as bare as I can in a love bomb video for my favourite game of all time, and I'm sure I'll share a bunch of pictures of the merch and stuff that I've collected over the years, but I encourage you to try the game out. If you are on the fence about it, I'd say, I'm rather biased, but I'd say that you can find out a lot about yourself from this game. And me and BB hope to see you through the UCA. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a most triumphant rest of your day, and have a good one.